Chapter 31. After finishing his cigarette, He Tao ordered his subordinates to take care of the rest of the work. He Tao lit up another cigarette and sat down next to Celestine. He felt a lot more relaxed after finishing the case. Previously he had been controlling the amount of cigarettes he smoked to make it easier to move around, but now he didn't care anymore. Where are you going to be a security guard? Residential area? Enterprise? Factory? He Tao asked. Enterprise or factory? It depends on the situation. After all, the factory hasn't been opened yet, Celestine answered. Whose factory? Black Charcoal's father and a friend opened it together. I'm also involved, but my knowledge is limited. I can't understand their advanced knowledge, so I invested a portion of my money. As for a job like security, it's more suitable for me. When the time comes, I'll find retired comrades to work with me. He Tao was silent for a while. He held the lighter and pointed at the black cat squatting at the top of the warehouse. His father? Yes, Celestine flicked the cigarette butt. The people in the residential area call it that. Dog daddy, cat daddy, and so on. Tisk, when did the status of pets become so high? When people are disappointed, the status of pets increases. I heard a while ago that the more people you know, the cuter you find pets to be. This perception is too one-sided and extreme. At least I don't think those pets are cute, such as that one. Celestine turned his head and nodded in the direction of Xianxia. It has a bad temper. You can't control it. He Tao clicked his tongue. He was about to make fun of it, but he remembered that he owed the cat a favor, so he swallowed his words. He changed the topic and said, "Oh right, tell your friend to behave himself. The higher-ups are going to crack down on him." Even if you didn't mention it, I would have told him. It's indeed not peaceful recently. It's time to do something about it. The police had already tidied up everything. He Tao didn't say anything more. He patted Celestine's shoulder. If you need help, just let me know. If the factory is ready, I'll go and take a look. Celestine waved his hand to show that he understood. Senior, don't just focus on climbing up. Your skills have deteriorated. If it weren't for that cat, you would definitely be at a disadvantage this time. He Tao smiled. The few of you are all troublesome. In Chuhua City, if I don't climb to the top, how can I protect you? So that you don't have to put on a smiling face and owe others favors. Looking at He Tao walking away, Celestine took a deep puff of his cigarette, threw it on the ground and stamped it out. He shouted towards Xianxia, "Black Charcoal, let's go back." Xianxia got up and stretched. He looked around and then looked at the real estate billboard not far away. He shook his fur and went downstairs to go home. On the way back to Chuhua City, Celestine didn't drive very fast this time. He slowed down. Sometimes he even took a detour as if he was relaxing. It was already 3 o'clock in the afternoon when he arrived at the East Family Courtyard of Chuhua University. Xianxia took a shower after he arrived at the East Family Courtyard. He asked Celestine to boil water for him. Celestine also took a shower with the leftover water. Because he had to go to the hospital to see a patient later and went out in the morning, he was dirty. It wasn't good to go to the hospital like this. His image was secondary, but he was afraid that he would bring too many germs in. Even if it wasn't a sterile room, it was better to clean himself up before going to a ward. When Xianxia was brought to the hospital, there was a burst of light laughter coming from Zhou Ma's ward. It was Zhou Ma's laughter and the medical intern called Zhou Xian who was helping to take care of Zhou Ma. Hearing the laughter, Xianxia pulled his ear. Zhao Yuan and the others were in class at this time. What could make Zhou Ma laugh like this? Xianxia's doubts were answered when he opened the door and saw the situation on the hospital bed. Zhou Ma was lying on the hospital bed. There was a blue figure beside Zhou Ma's uninjured hand rolling around. After rolling around, it lay on its back and spread its wings to let people scratch it. Xianxia was speechless. How did this guy come back from his business trip so soon? Next to the ward, the owner of General, Professor Tan, was talking to Jiao Pa. Professor Tan, who was about the same age as Jiao Pa, said proudly, "This time when I went to the National Nature Reserve in the south, I met a blue and purple macaw that looked like General. It was raised by a professor who studied ecology. His blue and purple macaw was quite smart, but its pronunciation was not as accurate as General. They even had a singing competition. In the end, the blue and purple macaw's singing talent was not good. It couldn't hit the high notes and couldn't hit the low notes. The low notes sounded like burps and the high notes sounded like slaughtered chickens." The people in the ward heard Professor Tan's words and laughed again. General, who was lying on its back next to Jiao Ma, heard Professor Tan talking about its great achievements. It turned around and raised its head saying, "General is mighty, General is mighty." "General, sing another song," Li Xiaoqian said. General tilted its head as if it was thinking about what song to sing. 5 seconds later. "Sweet honey, your smile is so sweet, like a flower blooming in the spring breeze, blooming in the spring breeze." As it sang, it kept swaying its head. Tan despised it for being so shameless. Tan did not care about General's showing off. He jumped onto Jiao Ma's bed and pushed the parrot next to Jiao Ma to the side. Seeing Tan jump onto the bed, Jiao Ma tucked him in so that Tan could squat more comfortably. Stepping on the soft and warm bedding, Tan felt a lot better. As General sang, it moved closer to Tan. When it finished singing the last word, it did not close its mouth. Instead, it turned sideways to Tan and was about to bite Tan's cat ears. Tan's palms on the mattress moved, and his ears turned into the shape of an airplane. He squinted at the parrot next to him with a threatening look. "You dare to bite my ears? I'll slap you to death." Maybe it was because it had not seen any cats during its business trip, and the parrot was itching to bite the cat's ears. Being stared at by Tan's threatening eyes, General paused, then turned its neck to the other side and did not look at Tan anymore. The people in the ward could not help but laugh when they saw the cat and the parrot's actions. Li Xiaoqian looked at the time and went out to work. She would come back later to help Jiao Ma change the bandages. Celestine stayed for a while and also left. Tan reclined next to the Jiao Ma. The Jiao Ma's injured arm was the other arm, so lying on this side would not touch the wound. Tan was also careful not to touch the other parts of the Jiao Ma's body. Professor Tan and the Jiao Pa were talking about some of the bigger engineering projects that the university had applied for recently. General was bored and grabbed the plastic medicine bottle on the bedside table to practice opening and closing the bottle cap. Sometimes when General accidentally approached the Jiao Ma's wound, Tan would whip it with its tail or claws. The room was indeed much warmer than outside and Tan was a little sleepy. A knock on the door woke Tan up. Recently, the person in charge of the Jiao Ma was Li Xiaoqian. Occasionally, a few doctors would come by to take a look. Other than the doctors, Li Xiaoqian and the others knew about Tan's existence. They knew that the Jiao family often brought their cats here, so they did not say anything. However, if it was an outsider, Tan would be better off staying away. General had already flown to Professor Tan's shoulder with the medicine bottle in its mouth. Tan jumped off the bed and went into the bag next to the Jiao Pa. The person who entered the room was a woman in her 30s. She was dressed in a formal manner and did not look serious. She looked friendly and dignified, but this dignified aura was far from that of Lord Zheng. When the Jiao Pa saw this person, he quickly stood up. "Ms. Yang, why are you here?" This person was the Jiao Yuan's homeroom teacher. She taught the Jiao Yuan's language. Tan had seen her a few times, but he did not pay much attention to her. "I heard that Ms. Gu was sick today, so I came to take a look." Ms. Yang put down the fruit she had bought. Ms. Yang did not live in Tsinghua University's residential area. She had a house outside and had to leave early today. This morning she heard that the Jiao Yuan's mother was hospitalized. This time she brought her mother to the hospital for a checkup and came to visit. Oh right, the school had a power outage today. In this weather, the lights in the classroom are dark at 4 o'clock. The students can't look at the blackboard, so the school ended one class early. I saw the Jiao Yuan's group and a few other students at the fruit shop below the hospital. They came to visit Ms. Gu together. I promised them that I would keep it a secret. Ms. Gu, Professor Jiao, please don't tell them that I was the one who told them, Ms. Yang joked. Tan. Poor kids. They were betrayed in the blink of an eye, and the person who betrayed them was their respected homeroom teacher. Because she still had something to do, Ms. Yang left after a while. In less than 5 minutes, Tan heard the sound of children's footsteps outside. The door opened slightly and the Jiao Yuan poked his head in. After looking around the room, he said, "My classmate heard that Mom was hospitalized, so he came to visit." "Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and let your classmate in." The Jiao Pa pretended to be surprised and stood up to welcome him. The room was not big, so the Jiao Pa and Professor Tan walked out and let the children in. Tan peeked through the gap in the bag. Other than Lan Tianzhu, Xiong and Suan, who he often saw, there was also a girl. Who is this child?" The Jiaoma looked at the only girl in the room. Although the Jiaoma did not know all the children in Jiao Yuan's class, she still had an impression of some of them. However, the Jiaoma thought about the girl standing in front of her and was sure that she had never seen her before. She is a new student in our class. Her name is Litmus. The Jiao Yuan emphasized the name Litmus when he introduced the girl. No wonder I don't remember her. She is a new transfer student, the Jiaoma said. Her name is Litmus. The Jiao Yuan emphasized again. I know her name is Litmus. The Jiaoma was confused by the Jiao Yuan's repeated emphasis on the girl's name. However, the Jiao Pa and Professor Tan who were standing at the door smiled knowingly. They already understood the Jiao Yuan's meaning. The Jiao Yuan was helpless when he saw that the Jiaoma still did not understand. He pointed at Suan, whose face was red and the tips of her ears were almost filled with blood. Then he pointed at Litmus, who was glaring at him. Do you understand now? Jiao Yuan. Litmus shouted. What are you afraid of? Everyone will find out sooner or later. Didn't you say that your family will be moving to the East family compound in 2 days? The Jiao Yuan did not care about Litmus's glare at all. The Jiaoma finally understood the meaning of the words after the Jiao Yuan's reminder. She looked at Suan, whose face was red and did not know what to do. Then she looked at Litmus, who was staring at Xianxia and the others who were secretly laughing. Jiaoma smiled and shook her head. This was really a coincidence. The only people who did not understand were General, who was standing on Professor Tan's shoulder, and Xing Tan, who was curled up in the bag. It was not until the Jiao Yuan mentioned the things that happened to Litmus that Xing Tan finally understood what these brats meant. Litmus was an organic acid in chemistry. It was used as an acid-base indicator in chemistry. It would turn red when exposed to acids and blue when exposed to alkalis. It was a common sight in high school textbooks. On the day that the little girl named Litmus transferred to another school, Suan did not go to school because she had diarrhea. She only went to school in the afternoon. After class, Lan Tianzhu, Jiao Yuan, and the others asked Suan, who was sprawled on the table weakly, "Do you know Litmus?" Suan looked up. "Yes, I do. It's an indicator." At that time Litmus was standing behind Suan. She did not look too good. She hated it when people called her an indicator. Since then Suan would blush every time she saw Litmus. Because of this she was often laughed at by the Jiao Yuan and the others. The pinyin of Suan's name was the pronunciation of acid. This was really quite a coincidence. While the brats were joking around, the Jiao Pa's phone rang. Professor Tan left with General. When they left, General flew out of the window and waited for Professor Tan downstairs. It was not good for it to leave from inside the hospital. Before the Jiao Pa went out to answer the phone, he thought about it and went back to take out the bag that Xing Tan was in. The brats did not keep their mouths shut. Besides, there was a newcomer named Litmus. In order to avoid unnecessary trouble, he took out the bag. Walking quickly to the end of the corridor outside the ward, the Jiao Pa answered the phone. Xing Tan stayed in the bag and listened to the Jiao Pa's phone call. The person who called was Xing Tan's university classmate who was called Yuan Zi by the Jiao Pa. They were talking about starting a company. After the call, the Jiao Pa said to Xing Tan in the bag, "Black charcoal, I've put in the 30,000 yuan from the commercial in your card. Treat it as an investment. I'll give you dividends when the time comes." Xing Tan earned more and more from shooting commercials with Xiaogua. Originally he went once a month, but Xiaogua saw that the results were good, so he changed it to once every 2 weeks. Moreover, the remuneration was increasing. Xing Tan did not know how good the results were. Anyway, every time he went, Xiaogua would look at him as if he had seen the god of fortune. Anyway, Xing Tan felt that he did not need the money now. Some time ago he heard from Xiaogua that he could try other commercials. The salary would definitely not be low. If the Jiao Pa lost money, he could earn it back.